this magic moment, so different and so new, but like any other, until I kissed you, and then it happened.
Well, as I start the second series of these tricky quiz, and this is number 11, and some of you are going, yay, and some of you are going, nay, but I'm using these in my classes to supplement my lectures, and there'll be a theme here. But let's start with, what's the second most French state? There's an obvious one, but I want the second one. La deuxième. And the obvious one, of course, is Louisiana, if you will. And just about everybody knows how to say, laissez de bon temps rouler, let the good times roll. But what's the second one? And if you know anything about where Cajuns come from, they come from Acadia, hence the name. It is the state of Maine. Look at the other states. A lot of them are kind of obvious, German, Italian. Some of them are kind of new in the sense of, well, they got Vietnamese, Tagalog, Korean, and even in Minnesota you have a language that's spoken in Somalia. Okay, number 2. What are the dots on the small I and the J and the exclamation point? And maybe for you Spaniards, the inverted one, and these are maybe diacritical marks, or maybe not, you know, like the German 2-dot umlaut and the Spanish squiggly little tilde. But I digress. What are those little dots called? Well, they're called tittles. I hope you find that titillating. You know, you think this is silly. It was a Jeopardy question, so sue me. Okay, question number 3. What's the second largest island in the world? Notice the theme here? Second. We'll even do it for the flag, but we're not there yet. Second largest island in the world. It's not too tricky, but you got to follow some rules. Now, some of you might say Australia, and between you and me and the Post isn't talking, I'd give it to you. But on the other hand, you might even point out that Australasia is kind of an island, and, you know, the Americas are kind of an island. But Australia is really, they call it a continent. And one after that's Greenland. So the answer to our question is New Guinea. And here's a bunch of others for you. Okay, number 4. What's the first number, if you will, the smallest, to have 3 different factors? There's a tricky question. This is a tricky quiz. Well, let's see. There's prime numbers, but we're not doing that. And 1 is not actually count. I got into trouble with the boys' vice principal for that, just like the Electoral College. Look who turned out to be right on that. But let's see. A factor. Well, the answer is 30. 2 times 3 times 5. And you might say, what about 2 times 3 times 4? Not a unique factor, because notice the 4 is comprised of 2 2's. So it's 30. Well, our 5th and final question is always a flag question. What country's flag was designed purposely to look like that of the United States? And if you know your history and the movement of repatriating the blacks to Africa, capital of the country is Monrovia, named after the president. Liberia, freedom, yeah, you got it, Liberia. Although, to be fair, there's some others that look darn similar, like Malaysia, but that's a whole nother matter. But then on the other hand, Louisiana, while waiting to become a state, purposely had a flag that looked like that of the United States. But let's go with Liberia.